Was that a bee? Love the ambient sounds in jungle rock. Absolutely wonderful. Now I've got fired up, or I've dropped in my next absolutely favourite vehicle. Got her tricked out as well, as much as I sort of thought. Raised suspension and shocks and some good off-road tyres. Actually, look at those tyres. Tip my hat to the devs, putting a wee bit of dirt or discolour, sort of a dirty colour in the tyres there. It looks absolutely brilliant. They've sort of all nice and new. Of course, we've got all the full lights when we go into the jungle. Snorkel for going through the water, etc. Full bars, tow hitch for towing. Yeah, this is my my Utah and jungle rock vehicle. Just for going off-road and general patrolling the area, so to speak. So found this wee track here. So I think we'll give her a bit of a blast and see how she goes. Right, start her up. Right, here we go. Aha! Right, here we go. Transfer case, sport, front, rear, first gear, clutch in, pull on the handbrake. Yes. Actually, we'll try it here. Pull on the handbrake. Oh, look at that, it even stays there too. Yeah, like the when you can actually rev the vehicle, do a nice hill start. Pulling on the handbrake. Yes, awesome. Lights on. Yeah, like all the gravel noises and everything. Just adds to the immersion. Now I've had multiple attempts at this. Yeah, we've got to go almost flat out. Keep going, yes. Nice gravel sound, love it. Always driving around, always looking out for the next screenshot. Ooh. And really like the look of that mud. Yeah, they've done an absolutely superb job with that. That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I've got to back her up, do a screenshot. I do drive around doing challenges and career mode and stuff as well, as in all the other stuff in BeamNG, but this is my jam. This is what I like doing. Okay, bear with me, I'll just muck around with the settings. Yep, extra features, always check that. That way when you get your composition all set nicely, you can go back and click it. Save camera there at the moment. Do some more adjustments. Like that, take a big shot. Yeah, cool. Right, get back into it. Stage 1 coming in. Great sound. I don't want to scratch that paint. Yeah, that's the other thing I really enjoy. I'm a shiny paint and chrome guy. Yeah, old school. And love it that you can get nice shiny paint. Start. Way. Yeah, a good turning radius. Right. Yeah. Another great ambient sound going over that. Awesome. Yeah, nice scene. Don't know. I'm gonna have to. Save camera. Save settings. I might muck around the time of day. Always like trying to create. Ooh. Now we're getting into a nice bit of shadows. Oh, save that. Go back to it if it's, and adjust sun direction. Yeah, just using the left and right arrow keys. See what comes up when you keep clicking around. No, go back. Sun going down, wherever the sun is, maybe over the back there. Here's a nice, see a bit of reflectance on the mud. Even though I've done the shot there, I can always crop it further in Photoshop. Now, what I might actually do with that, save camera, save settings. Anyway, far blur. Yeah, we can see it just blurring off a little bit nicely there. Yeah, that's cool. Adjust this. Yes, you adjust the aperture. You can see the aperture, if you move it to the right, makes the aperture quite wide, or a small number, say f2.8 or whatever, and it starts blurring. You should get a more shallower depth of field, but I don't want it too shallow. Yeah, and save settings. What I'm going to do now is go into World Editor. Here we go. Now I'm going to use create object, and what that does, brings down toolbar 2, and we use a point light or a spotlight. We'll access the spotlight this time. Yeah, it's illuminated something. To get rid of the spotlight on the end of your mouse, just hit create object up the top, and to find it, so as you like, hitting the vehicle, and it's usually underneath. Now we need to rotate it a wee bit, so that's the translate key. You can move it around next to it. Hit the rotate key, and we'll just adjust settings, up, back, I'll rotate again a little bit more. Yeah, a lot of mucking around. I spend hours in here adjusting. Maybe that's going to be a better angle. Rotate. Now go down to colour. We don't want the white, so because the colour in the rest of the scene is sort of orangey yellow. Yeah, you can see automatically just from where it was white, almost comes to the right colour when you choose. Yeah, again, I just do everything by eye. Now underneath brightness, underneath the colour, brightness a wee bit, just a little bit. For the moment, we'll go back into photo mode. Load camera, load settings. Oh yeah, just so I don't waste too much of your time, that'll do. Right, we'll take a big shot. Okay, now we've finished that. Back into World Editor. Now I like being sort of a tidy person. I don't like leaving all my rubbish around. So I generally just delete the lights. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Again, it's all personal flavour and what you like to do. Yeah, just you could argue that the light that's coming from this direction, maybe there's a big rock just on that side that's reflecting just a wee bit of light back into the side of the vehicle there, just illuminating it just a wee bit. Yeah, very cool. BeamNG and World Editor. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. Going into photo mode and adding extra lights. Right, that's enough of that. We'll go out of here. Oh, why do they keep doing that? Right, we'll continue on our journey. Oh, handbrake, first gear, clutch in. There. Back it up. Out for a wee nose. What's this here? Could be two. Oh no. Don't like it. No. Go back. Go down that other trail. Probably end up wrecking it. Yeah. Yeah, look at that nice paint job. Oh, nice reflection. Get in. Oh, I'm just at the road anyway. Not a very good turning circle. Shocking turning circle. Now there's a car down the bottom there. I need to find, and we'll set up another screenshot for that. Rookie mistake. Sorry. There we go. I wonder why I was going so slow. Stage 1 coming on. Superb sound. Right, I think it might be around here, I think. And I'm lost. No, the map. Oh no, it's about there. Right, it's around the corner. Ah, there she goes. Back it up. Right, we're in photo mode now. Now we'll compose up a shot. So this is where I'll actually. I want a wee bit of damage on it. So, and I worked on a little while ago. She starts. Yeah. Although I'm going to have to put a wee bit of damage on it because for the screenshot I've got planned. It's just a wee bit of front damage. Always fun in BeamNG. What have we got there? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Park it up. Flying around. Right. Photo mode. Alright, save camera. Save settings at the moment. My favourite bit. Adjust time of day. Yeah. I like parking under these structures because they create some really interesting shadows across your screenshot, which makes for quite interesting looking lighting patterns. So again, yeah, see, then the sun direction always helps. Left and right arrow keys. There's just so many options. You only have to move the time of day slider just maybe 10 minutes one way, and then you've got a whole new set of shadows coming in when you do the sun direction. It's absolutely brilliant. That's why I spend pretty much spend hours in here. Yeah, that's getting to what I'm sort of wanting. We'll do a save setting. Save camera. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Quite like the light coming in just through there. Creating a few sort of light and dark shadows, bit of light and dark shadows on the ground. Yeah, it looks abandoned. Yeah, a wee bit of damage on the front, only in BeamNG. Can you do that? Excellent. Right, okay. Take another screenshot. We spend quite a bit of time getting to this point. Not sure whether you can save this anywhere, can you? Maybe that's something. Mind you though, save camera, save settings. Can you save something like this? So you can pull that up, say a month from now. If you've got a file somewhere that pull up the car, pull up the scene, pulls up all the lighting, and then you're just basically back in BeamNG again with this particular creative shot. That would be something actually to be able to do that. Because if you wanted to add a wee bit more lighting, say in World Editor, I pinged a bit of light up there. I'm quite happy with the way that this is. This looks good, so no World Editor lighting in here. But that that function would be good. Not too sure whether it's feasible or not, but yeah, save that as it is, save the car, providing you got it in your mods folder and it's still active. Yeah, that would be quite something to be able to save that and then pull it up later at a later date and continue working on it. Yeah, but anyway, I digress. We'll get back into it. Here we are in Photoshop with the shot of the Dynamo that we set up just previously. Now usually what I like doing is doubling it up and working on another layer, and with this next layer I usually go into, say, the dodge tool and just do a wee bit of highlighting, just lightly brush over some of the light areas, just to make it a little more contrasty, without sort of lightening the dark areas as well. So we can just see just a subtle change there. Now I didn't sort of like the wheels, so what I've done there is I just copy pasted them, and again used the dodge tool and just sort of lightened it up, used a bit of curves to lighten it up, selectively highlight the areas with the dodge tool. So even though technically it's sort of turned and it's dark, I liked it. I pretty much like it that way. Just sort of helps bring it out. And that's also the same with the back wheel there. You can sort of, you don't really see it, but I've just sort of added just a wee bit of highlight, just so it gives it a bit of life. Right, now this here is a pre-made layer from, well, again, Ron's Brushes. I'm not getting paid or sponsored or anything with this. It's just a great, he has an amazing library of great products. So this particular is just a big lump of concrete, basically, from apocalyptic sort of broken sort of buildings and stuff, and I kind of like the look of it. Darkened up, used the burn tool and just darken bits here up, and then just painted in a wee bit of with a colour overlay on the edge. Again, just all personal flavour. So I mean, I sort of like that to give it a bit more sort of forward dimension. Sort of liked it because of the shape. I mean, I could have, say, done a vignette, I suppose, and just darkened it. Just put some extra broken concrete in that area, which I thought, for me, that kind of looks right for Jungle Rock. And here's the package, Ron's Apocalypse. So if we look, it comes in a page of layers. So we can, here's the piece there, which is just pretty much drag and drop that, and then we can just size it all up. And pretty much just darken, selectively sort of darken areas, the curves, for example, and then just use the burning tool. So just tap on there, and that does the job. I mean, these are quite great. These are awesome. So you can just drag and drop, and then size them all up. You know, stretch them, distort them, and then poke it in there. And this is what you end up with. Makes for quick elements that you can place into your artwork, and it's sort of immediate, so you can sort of gauge what it's going to look like. Here's another one, same procedure, just drag and drop, I like this again, just give a bit of edge interest, plus also I like the wee like the radioactive sign on that, because we're going to be putting, yeah, this one here is also from the same series. I'll pull that up. Yeah, here we go here. And again, just drag and drop. And put it in the situation here, just darken it up, colour it up so it suits. Just whacked a wee bit of grounding shadow underneath there. Again, just draw on the background, just draw that shape. Bit of a feather. Copy paste. And you do end up doing something like that. And then you just, well, what I use is the hue saturation, just darken it up, maybe add a wee bit of colour, change the hue maybe, and then the rest of it is put a mask on it, and then just selectively swipe back areas, and then I'll use the burn tool, just darken areas up, and then you get the shadow. Didn't need to be much. Just gives it a wee bit of grounding shadow. The cracks are also brushes, which you just select from in the brushes palette. And usually I always put everything on a layer, so that way you're not putting it on to the actual artwork. Click on it, and then you've got your layer. Then just pretty much distort it to an overlay, drop the opacity down. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just as a stamp on brush. Does it need to be there? Yeah, I like it. Now next up we've got the robot, well the droid, the abandoned droid, decommissioned. Again, that was from Daz Studio, which I'll show in the posing and lighting. Here's the PNG rendered from Daz of the droid. Normally I'll just get rid of shadow, so just quickly mask her out, copy, paste, a pretty big size, reasonable size, and then just adjust the suit, and then I usually do a wee bit of burning and dodging just to get it looking sort of, well, to my liking. I think the light coming from that side, yeah, because of the lighting in Daz, we sort of highlighted it a wee bit. Again, I usually dodge tool a wee bit just to lighten up the highlights. Same thing with the shadow on her. I'll just draw a rough sort of shape. Select the background, copy, paste, and then you've got the background. Darken it up. Maybe add a wee bit of saturation for colour. Then just selectively lighten the areas so you end up with a shadow that gives the droid a wee bit of grounding. I always like to add a little bit of a lens flare coming in, especially for this shot. So we go again into Ron's sci-fi optical flares, and this is the one that I chose. Drag and drop, and just size it up and place it. A couple of the next layers here are some atmospheric dust. The same thing, just go into your brushes. These are Ron's sort of like particle dust effects. So you just select a brush and you can see, just click on it, do an impression, and it gives a nice sort of particle dust effect. Quite thick, but you can adjust the size because it's on a layer. I just like dropping it around, adjusting the size. Usually I like sort of going through the layer properties. Yeah, gives a nice sort of particle effect of all the dust. Next effect up is the fog. Same scenario. Select a brush, find it in the brush tools, come in, select the color, usually white, and just click on the background, and it gives quite a nice instant effect. And because it's on a layer, we can just adjust, stretch, spin her around to whatever. I've placed all the other fog items just around the scene, a little bit down the bottom there. Yeah, this one has, these two here have a bit more of a smoke type sort of effect. Same procedure with the brush. I like that because of the radioactive sign there. Maybe just to the outside of the scene there's a drum leaking and it's giving off fumes. You gotta just build up the artwork. Yeah, okay, we've got a wee bit of sand on the ground. Again, it's just an effect. I thought, yeah, I quite like the look of it. It comes in just as a JPEG, and we can drag and drop onto our artwork. And then it's just a matter of adjusting everything. Still see sort of the edges of the canvas, but once you start putting a mask on and then masking out selectively, and then you place it down and try and get sort of, well, what I perceive as sort of looking like the right sort of perspective. So that's everything we've added into and on top of the screenshot to get that sort of effect. My thought process for this smoke shape is the radioactive sign there. There's just outside, well, my thought process anyway, or a drum that's broken and it's smoking, and when it starts to reach the outside, gives a yellow glow chemical sort of look. That's why I did the optical flare having sort of yellows and sort of orangey colours in it, because it's the chemicals from the radioactive leaching out and it's finally hitting the sun. here we are in Daz. The figure's brought in and I pose it up. Generally I'll look at the scene that I've created in BeamNG. So she won't be there, and I'll just go, right, what sort of pose do I want? And this one just seemed to work quite well. Again, it's all just an eye look at that area and then look at the pose and you think, yeah, that's going to fit. I might just also do just a low res render first and pop it in just to see, and if it doesn't work, I'll adjust the pose here again, just optically. But here's the final pose that we see here. It's a wee bit different color wise because I'll sort of burn and dodge, as I said in the Photoshop tutorial, just to get it right. I used pretty much the dome only and the dome rotation, and then you can see as we move around, it's like a light that's already in there and it rotates around as you see there, which has actually worked out quite well. So the light mainly is coming from our left, and I knew that that highlight there would match the light coming from the left in our scene, coming through the door there. And I knew also that the easiest thing for me to do was to leave it like that, even though it's quite light on the right hand side. I knew I could sort of burn and dodge in Photoshop and just darken it up, save having to get too complicated a lighting in Daz Studio. So I think and then you just render it, and as you saw in the Photoshop section, renders out as a PNG, and then you can just pull it in, drag and drop, size it up, and she's all good to go. Right, that's the end of that session for the moment. I'll just carry on in BeamNG, and there's another area I want to sort of scout out around at the resort, so take my girl out and go around to the resort. Okay. Oh no. Put the blue arrows up. Ooh, she might be a bit big to get up there. We'll give it a go though. Just a hill start. Yeah, really like that. That used to rev when the parking brake comes off, but this is very cool. Whoop. That tyre deformation. Excellent. If I can do a screenshot. Right, time of day. Always like mucking around with that. Like that one. Yeah, sometimes moving the sliders quite regularly, sometimes you get a happy accident like that. But I always like to just push the boundaries just a wee bit. Well, the chances, well, I suppose I could set this shot up again at some stage, but well, you might as well get it. Might as well get all the screenshots while you're here. Save camera, save settings. Whoa, gonna risk it going into World Editor. Yeah, I know. Create object again. Toolbar 2 comes down. Have to click, place it, select it, change the colour. Move it around just to see what it's doing. Right, F11 back into photo mode. Is it? There we go. Load camera, load settings. Yeah, just ping just a wee fraction of light into there. Yeah, like that, because the orangey sort of warm glow of the sun. Ping it up there. Right, get rid of my rubbish, don't like leaving it in the game. Delete, F11. Load camera, load settings. Yeah, I think big, do a before and after.